Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on measuring an angle worksheets. So this video presents a few worksheets where we can practice finding the size of angles using a protractor. Now if you're not sure how to use a protractor, there is a lesson on this very topic, and on the last slide there is a direction. And if you follow that direction and click on the appropriate link, it will take you to the lesson and it will explain how to do all these examples. So let's see what's required here. Read off the measurements for each of the following angles. So the lesson introduces the protractor and it explains all the different parts and it shows how to use it. So very briefly, we have to measure the angle ABC. And basically, we have to measure that way, okay, in that direction there. That's the direction we have to measure in. And you use this scale here because that starts from 0. So you always have to look at the scale. There are always two scales, the outer scale and the inner scale. Because we're measuring in that direction, you start from here and you just read off the size of the angle, because you look at that ray there, and you see where that ray crosses the protractor, and that gives you the answer. For number 2, again, we're measuring in that direction there, anti-clockwise. So again, you have to start from the 0, so you go this way. Now some protractors have the 0 to 180 on the outside when you're measuring in an anti-clockwise direction, and some of them have it on the inside. It doesn't really matter where it is, whether it's the inside or the outside, just choose the appropriate scale. So you just go right around and you see where this line cuts across, and then you can measure the size of that angle. For number 3, we're coming from this way we're measuring in a clockwise direction. You have to start from 0, so you take the outside scale, and that'll give you the answer. And finally from here, again, we're measuring in an anti-clockwise direction, and you look here, the 0 starts here. So wherever the 0 is, whether it's the outside or the inside, you choose it and you go around, and then you can read off the angle. Now all this is explained in the lesson if you need any help. So let's look at the next slide. Now over here we have a protractor with all different angles, and they're all labelled. So let's see what we have to do. Write down the size for each of the following angles using the above protractor. The first one is angle BAD. BAD. So you just read that off using the inside scale. Angle BAC, exactly the same thing. BAC using the inside scale. So they're very similar all the way down there. They're very, very similar. So you're either going to read the angles off that way, or you're going to read them off this way. If you're trying to measure them this way, you use the inside scale. If you're measuring them this way, you use the outside scale. Now, so the first 8 are very similar, but number 9, 10 and 11 are a little bit different. Let's see how they're different. That's why I'm going to give you a little hint. We're going to measure angle CAD. Have a look at it. CAD. Now you'll notice that's the angle we want here, that one. But neither of those rays are on the base. So that's a little bit different, isn't it? However, the little hint I'll give you is this, is that we have measured angle BAD, so we know what that size is. We measured that here. We've also measured angle BAC, so we know what that size is. Now, because we know those two values, that will enable us to find angle CAD. So that's the hint I'll give you. And it's exactly the same with angle KAC. Use 2 previous angles that we found, and that'll give you that answer. And the same with angle LAD. use the two previous angles that we found up here, and then that will give you the answer for LAD. So this video has introduced a couple of worksheets where we can practice using a protractor to find the size of angles. And if you're not sure what to do, on the next slide there is a link. If you click on the link, it will take you to the lesson and it will explain how to do all the examples.